General networking, network fundamentals, routers. We are going to talk about routers. What is a router? DSL and cable, broadband solutions. We'll try and answer a question. Do I have a router at home? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's start with the first one. What is a router? It's pretty easy to define. A router is a device that allows us to join multiple networks together. That's what a router is. You can say, okay, it seems like an easy job. It's just it's like a gateway, and I have two networks and it will connect them together. That's all. That's not a big deal. Well, that's not all a router can do. Imagine that there is a router here and you are over here. Then this router, let's say, has two paths. Let's call it router 1, that is router 2, that is router 3. And then you want to connect to a server that is over here. Let's call it server 1. What's the problem? Well, there is no problem, but router 1 will have to make a decision, will have to decide. Do I want to go that way to get to server 1, or do I want to go that way? PC1 wants to send a message to this server. Maybe it wants to send an email. Let's say that is an email server. Router 1 will have to decide, okay, maybe I will send a message to router 2 and router 2 can get there, or maybe I will send it that way, or maybe I will load balance. That is routing. That's what routers do. They route. They're responsible for routing. You can achieve that using static routes. You can go and say, okay, router 1, go that way. I am telling you, I am your manager, go that way. Or, in some cases, you can allow your routers to exchange information and learn from each other. That is dynamic routing protocols. When we think about an Ethernet connection, there are two terms that you will find everywhere. It's DSL and all flavors of it, ADSL, VDSL, SDSL, so on. That's DSL, or cable. Let's start with DSL. What can you achieve? What does it mean? DSL, ADSL, VDSL, we can take advantage. We can take a copper phone cable and we can use this cable to send data. Why do we want to do that? Well, the main reason for that is that we have our phone cables everywhere. We have had phones for many years. We don't have to run new cables. We can take advantage of some additional frequencies. Thanks to that, we can be connected to the internet using a copper phone cable. That's why in many cases you will need a small filter like that. It's a microfilter. Why? Well, because you want to have your phone service and broadband service at the same time. We want to prevent interference. Sometimes you will find a filter like that built into your socket. If that's the case, you don't need anything like that. You can connect your cables to your ISP directly. That is DSL. How do we connect a router? Check this picture. You have an ADSL router. Make sure it is an ADSL, VDSL. Check with your ISP what the flavor of DSL you have. Make sure you go ADSL is not compatible with VDSL and so on. Make sure that you go for a correct router. Then you run a cable That is called an RJ11. It's a phone cable. You run it to your ADSL filter and you connect it to the phone socket that was provided by your ISP. And of course you need some power, right? That is always a good idea to connect it to a power socket. Then, as you probably know, there is a switch. You can connect your end devices here, and of course this one is wireless as well. Most of them will be wireless. It means you can connect, for instance, your laptops and phones to the network as well, and go to Facebook. Yeah, there is a dedicated video to cables. Make sure you know that is RJ45, that is RJ11. This is for your phone, this guy here, and this is RJ11, RJ45, that allows you to connect to your PCs, laptops, scanners, printers, and so on. Let's talk about the cable broadband connections. This one here you can have if you have a cable television network. It means that a company, they decided to run cables everywhere, and they can deliver not only TV services, they can deliver broadband connections as well to their customers and subscribers. You need a modem, and that's a big difference. In most cases you cannot really get rid of this thing, you have to keep it. You can connect your own router, but in most cases you have to keep this device. With DSL, in most cases you can replace this guy and put your own router connected directly to your ISP. Anyway, we have our cable modem that is connected to your ISP, and then you connect it to your PC directly, or you can use a router, a firewall, or a switch. Which one is better? Well, first of all, you have to check if cable is available in your area. That's the advantage of ADSL, VDSL phone services. They're almost everywhere. Even if, you will not get the fastest connection, in most cases you will get something. Unfortunately, in many places there are no cables for this solution. That's why you have to check with your local ISPs first and see if this is an option. Go compare all prices, see which one you like. They offer, of course, great deals, and it all depends. If you want to take a 24-month deal, then it's much better. Go online, check what's available, see what you need. That's it. Let's zoom in now. That is an ADSL router. As you can see, in most cases it will be labeled as a DSL port. You need an RJ11 cable. And here, that is D-Link. Yes, well done, D-Link. Yellow ports. That's LAN, local area network. It means you can connect your PC, your printer, and so on. Of course, again, you can take a switch. That will give you more ports if you need. Then we have a reset button, which allows you, oops, I missed that. A reset button which allows you to go back to the settings that D-Link put on it. Easy. Power button, power connection. This is wireless as well. 99% of routers like that will have a built-in access point. That's a technical term for it, access point. We should not really say a wireless router. A thing like that does not exist. This is a router with a built-in switch and a built-in access point. I am pretty sure at this point you know the answer to the first question. Do I have a router at home? And in most cases the answer is yes, you do. You have an ADSL connection, or you have a cable broadband connection, you have a router at home, you have a router with a built-in switch and an access point. That's what 99% of home users, small office, home office environments will have. Do we have some other solutions? Yes, of course. There are list lines, there are point-to-point links, there are many different solutions that you can go. In most cases, it applies to enterprise big networks. Let's summarize. In this video, we discussed what a router is. I showed you what the main difference between DSL and cable broadband is. I encourage you to read a little more. Wiki is a good place to go. A really nice description of DSL, how it works, and cable. And of course, yes, you have a router at home. Thank you.